This is one of my favourite Minecraft updates, and unfortunately we're going to have to wait a few months before it arrives. Mounts of Mayhem is set to release this winter as the fourth and final drop of 2025 for Minecraft, and although we've just had the Copper Age release in yesterday, it's time to talk about the next update because the updates are coming thick and fast. My favourite part about this update is the Nautilus. This will allow us to breathe underwater indefinitely without the use of a potion or a conduit, which is huge and revolutionary for Minecraft. Easily tame with a puffer fish, this underwater mob will allow you to essentially breathe underwater indefinitely. You could go to ocean monuments a lot more easier now, and of course it looks cool to ride underwater. This is going to be so good for the game. Sadly though, there is consequences. With the zombie Nautilus is going to be underwater too, and this is going to spawn with a drowned, and sadly this drowned is going to have one of the newest weapons to the game called the spear. We'll talk about the spear a bit later on. The zombie Nautilus is of course a hostile enemy, and it will spawn with a drowned. As if drowns weren't annoying enough, they're about to get a little bit more annoying. Because of how fast the Nautilus is, if you come face to face with a zombie Nautilus with a drowned on, it's just going to be that little bit more inconvenient underwater, that is for sure. Now, I did mention the spear. This is one thing I am looking forward to. I know we've just had the Copper Age, but when I heard this announced, this is the most excited I've been for a weapon in a very long time. There is so much mini game possibilities with the spear. Automatically I thought of on horses, you could do jousting between friends. So at Christmas time, given the fact that everybody's at home and you're going to be online with a bunch of people, I think the spear is the perfect addition. This has all the different varieties in the game. Now there is two attacks, and these are the charge and the jab. Of course, the faster you're going would mean that the charge attack would do more damage, and of course you just have the simple jab that you would expect from a spear anyway. The different rarities do affect the cooldown on this though, so it really depends on what attack you'd prefer. One mob that's been in the game for quite a while in creative but not in the survival game is the zombie horse. The reason I mention the zombie horse now is because it is finally in survival, and it is going to spawn a zombie on top of it, and unfortunately once again it's going to come with a spear. So although there's some really cool features being added to the game, there is also the hostile side to the game, which I actually am all for because we've not really had any hostile update to a significant level like this in a while. So a zombie horse will naturally spawn in the game. Unlike the skeleton horse, it will not need any lightning, and all these zombies will come equipped with a spear. I assume if you manage to defeat the zombie, it has a chance of dropping the spear for free. Either way, it's going to look pretty cool. And finally, the zombie horse is in the game, which means we're going to be able to ride these around and just look extra cool. Now, of course, because your Nautilus isn't a hostile enemy, it is going to need some protection. And with all the rarities, you can actually put on Nautilus Armour, which is going to be on the back of its shell. This mob is underwater only. However, if you do bring it to the surface, it will do a little jump above the water, a bit like a dolphin. But of course, because you've got the Nautilus effect, you don't really have much reason to bring it to the surface unless you just want to see the jump effects in third person, I guess. And that's it. That is all so far Mojang have announced regarding Mounts of Mayhem. I do find it quite interesting we've had the name already in the Minecraft Live. This makes me think development for this update is actually quite significantly ahead, and that we could see this update sooner rather than later. There was the fear with the Copper Age update being delayed that we may not see another update at the end of this year. However, with the fact we've got the name, we've got a whole load of features here. I could see development being very fast in this update. Whether more gets added, I don't know. It does seem rather small, but it's still a really cool update that I'm looking forward to personally. I think there's a lot of mini game potential. Let me know your thoughts on this update down below. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.